everybody. This is Casey. We're here to do first of our night of spiritual talks. Oh, heavens. Of course she would. Hey, where you at?
Currently driving around getting my groceries.
So you're home already?
Yeah,
Okay.
I got home last night.
Okay. Well, I got to go because I just started a live. I thought if you were in California, you could go check on somebody that we're worried about.
Oh no, sorry.
That's all right. Okay. I'll talk to you later. Bye. Sorry about that, everybody. How was everybody tonight? I was with my daughter. I was going to have her. She was just in Ventura, California. I was going to have her check on somebody that we know in Santa Barbara. Okay, let me tell you first. She's responding to me and Adrian on Facebook. Okay, so quit worrying. Okay. Actually, Bree, we're doing the spiritual talk now. Hey, Casey, I think the doctors are trying to kill me with medicine. Yes, Gina, how are you? Yeah, so she's okay. Hold on, everybody. Just give me a minute. Rebecca, she is responding. She responded to me. She said she'll be in Colorado soon. She responded to Adrian because she was asking about where to look for crystals. So she's responding to people. So I think she's okay. Okay, I think she's just going through some depressive stuff. So how is everybody tonight? I had a medical crisis Wednesday, so I couldn't come on Wednesday night. I'm sorry, everybody. So we're not doing readings tonight. We're going to do a class on spiritual chat time. Yes, thank you, Tiffany. Yeah, my daughter's back in Phoenix now, so she can go check on the person in California we were worried about. I keep telling the doctors that I'm sensitive to medicine. They think I exaggerate things. And then when I blew up like a balloon, I thought my legs were going to pop. I was so swollen. Then they decide, oh, it's a medication. How is everybody? So I'm okay, but we do have voice problems a little bit tonight. So, ladies, what do you think? Tonight we can work on boundaries. We all have problems with boundaries. Yeah, that's right, Tiffany. So, yeah, I thought this was a good subject, and it seems to be something that's been popping up for the last few days for me, too. Because I decided last Sunday we were going to do a class on boundaries, and then the last 3 days it's been popping up every day. Somebody having problems with boundaries. So, oh, Gina loves boundaries. Yes. Okay, have a good one, Rebecca. Yes. Okay, so we'll wait a couple more minutes and see how many more come in, and we'll start talking about boundaries. I will ask you guys, what do you guys think boundaries are? I'm telling you, the universe, not only with negativity, but the way people treat you and everything. Yeah. And it seems like this is a good time because, like I said, it's been I decided Sunday. Yeah, limits, expectations. It's your personal power, self-love, mental, emotional, spiritual ways we create to protect ourselves from being used, manipulated, or violated, defines who we are, who others are. It is a form of well-being, healthy self-image, and makes us feel good about ourselves. Yes. But then if you give them the silent treatment, then that moves into passive aggressive also. So unhealthy boundaries have us confused about our needs and wants versus others, codependency, toxic one-sided relationships, stress, hopelessness, worthlessness, weak, not good enough, self-doubting, loathing, not able to speak our truth or communicate our needs. Yes, exactly, Gina. Exactly. It says with no boundaries, you fail to speak up when treated badly, give away too much of your time. You agree when you feel like disagreeing. You say yes when you want to say no. You feel guilty when you do something for yourself. Feel taken for granted. Let people touch you even if you feel uncomfortable. Toxic relationships, you're always giving, the other's always taking, making sacrifices for others. Passive aggressive with manipulative tendencies. We feel like a victim, feel like you have to be nice. You overshare details about your life with others. I have to look at that because sometimes I have to use stories as examples. Otherwise, I think, I don't know, there's a fine line in there. You feel like you're responsible for others' happiness. You be what others need you to be, but not what you need to be, out of touch with your needs. You attract dominating, controlling people. You worry about what others think about you. So that was the opening part. Yes, yes. Oh, yeah. We all do that to ourselves. Okay. Okay. So, can you tell me some ways that you can see that you need to set boundaries in your life? I'm telling you, it feels like a full moon today. So nobody can tell me where they see that they need to set some boundaries in their life? Limits, expectations. And well, that's an excellent example, Donna. Yep, yep. Work. Yeah. So the book I was reading talks about how it's not our fault because the people that have been our caregivers, our parents, our figures of authority, like our teachers, our grandparents, yeah, they may not have had healthy boundaries either. So she says it's not your fault. But now it's your responsibility to build strong boundaries. Feel compassion for yourself. We were raised by poor boundaries all around us. What signals we are given where you were only rewarded when you did or acted as they wanted you to, where you were punished for saying no or speaking your truth. Did you have to take care of an adult in your life, for example? So it talks a little bit about that. But you know what, Tiffany, aren't you more in a healing, self-protective mode lately? Sometimes you got to set those boundaries in order to let me turn that off. We were worried somebody was suicidal. Okay, take a deep breath. I told you, it feels like full moon. Okay. So, does anybody have an idea how to set boundaries? Or some of the belief systems around having boundaries? Because it says in here that one of the first beliefs is having boundaries is selfish. Does anybody believe that? So having boundaries is a form of self-respect and good self-esteem. Now, if you're in a codependent relationship, it might be uncomfortable for everybody at first. They may even resist the changes you're trying to make. But if it's a toxic relationship, is it worth it? Number 2 is having boundaries is hard on a relationship. Will cause people to dislike me. Will actually invite more people to. It will actually invite people to respect and like you. Nothing more admirable than someone who doesn't take BS off of others, Gina. You will actually attract people more authentic. Can you set boundaries thinking in justice? I think you can. Yes. Yep. It says, setting boundaries will make you miserable, feel uncomfortable at first, but eventually you will feel more empowered and in control in your life. Now, somebody brought this up too. This is one of the things we talked about this week. They didn't want to set boundaries because if you set boundaries, there's no flexibility in there. But that's not true. It's not black. It's not white. It's flexible, and it depends on what's going on in your life in the moment. So for the benefits, this is feel more in control, empowered. The ability to say no, attract more supportive friends and love, more energy on all levels, to speak up and be heard, feel more appreciated and valued. Be in touch with your needs, nurture yourself more spiritual happiness and balance, increase self-esteem and worth, more courage, freedom to be yourself and take time. Yes. See, that's a sign of good self-esteem right there, Tiffany. Yep. You have to get to that point. So she talks about 18 signs. Okay. You don't say anything when people treat you badly. You give away too much of your time. You agree when you should be disagreeing. You say yes when you should say no. I squirmed over a lot of these, believe me. You feel bad when you take time for yourself. You feel taken for granted. You allow people to touch you when you feel uncomfortable and you don't say no. You're always giving and not receiving anything in return. Us women are so bad about that. Yep. You make sacrifices for others and you get hurt by it. You're passive aggressive and manipulate. I wonder who's guilty of that. Trying to regain your power. You constantly play the victim. You overshare your life details. Like I said, I had to look at that because it's like sometimes I have to pull stories out to give examples. You feel like you always need to be nice. You feel like other people's happiness is your responsibility. You always feel like you have to be what others want you to be, not who you want to be. You are out of touch with yourself and your needs. You attract people who try to control or manipulate you. You are in constant fear about what people think about you. Gina brought up a lot of these. It says, so take some time to sit and have some compassion for you. We're always taught by figures of authority how we are to be and how we're supposed to act. If they had bad boundaries, then we've picked up bad boundaries. It's like, you have to do this and you have to do that or you're in trouble. Okay, that's not setting. You have to know how to do some of those things in order to survive life. Our parents are first in line. How did they treat you when you acted up, spoke up? That was one way you learn boundaries. That lacking personal boundaries is a good thing. Fine, divine universe. We're talking about boundaries tonight, hon. See, we're losing everybody. Not everybody's happy with the talk tonight. So, we're not doing readings tonight, Amanda. We're talking about personal boundaries. On Friday nights, we're going to start talking about spiritual talks. And Sunday nights, I'll do the readings. Wednesday nights, I think we're going to start a metaphysical book club. Sorry, Amanda. But you can contribute to the conversation, hon. So what are some of the things that you guys feel that you can do to set boundaries? Exactly. Exactly, Donna. You and Gina and Tiffany, you guys have a better handle on this than I do. Yeah, that's true, Gina. One of the things she talks about is where is it? I wrote it down. Maybe it's under here. Some of the blocks and beliefs are having boundaries is selfish. But it's self-respect, self-esteem, and being healthy. Where's the stuff on relationships? Oh, when you set boundaries, You attract healthier, supportive partners and friends. Exactly. Hey, Tamara. Yep. Exactly, Amanda. Exactly. So another one is a belief system. Having personal boundaries will affect your relationships. Toxic relationships. Is it worth it? You want a relationship that's healthy and thrives. Yep. Yeah. Last summer, I cleared out all the negative people in my life except for my children. And even I've cut back talking on them. People won't like me. It says it can happen that way, but people also admire people that don't take BS. You will attract people who will respect you and be authentic. And I remember telling some people during readings, that you may have a guy in your life that's controlling, but if you stand up to him, he's going to have more respect for you. You can make the relationship work as long as you have healthy boundaries, Having boundaries makes me miserable, might be uncomfortable at first, but it will empower you to take control of your life again. It will make you happier, makes you rigid. They are not set in stone. It depends on the situation. Exactly, Donna. And how many kids fight about boundaries all the time anyway? They fight against boundaries because they're trying to define who they are anyway. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That's crazy, Tiffany. Oh yeah, you have to set boundaries after that, especially when you got a child that has to learn boundaries, It's hard. So one of the things that says the benefits is you can say no. You can be empowered. You can feel more in control of your life. You attract healthier, supportive partners and friends. Boy, don't we all need that. You will have more energy mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. You will be able to speak up and be heard. You will feel more valued and appreciated, more in touch with your own needs, more time for you, more happiness and balance, increased self-esteem and self-worth, more courage and freedom to be you. And it takes time to develop these. Oh my gosh. And how many of us have been abused because we didn't have good boundaries? I wasn't allowed as a child to have boundaries. I wasn't to be seen or heard as a child. This, I'm telling you, I was reading this stuff and it made me squirm. It's like we all have something to learn from all of this, you know? Yeah, so we just, I've come a long way on boundaries myself. I know I have. And the only one I haven't really set boundaries with is my oldest son because he's Mr. Know-It-All. And sometimes it just seems like it's just It's not even worth the effort to try to fight over it. You just step back and not tap into their energy too. So it kind of crosses over between what's spiritually acceptable and what's in man's reality acceptable, you know? Yep. Oh, he's very intuitive, but he doesn't have any, he lacks compassion and understanding. Everything turns out to be judgment, you know? So sometimes we just, but then again, spiritually, like I said, it's, so I was talking to somebody also that, you know, we don't just have to set boundaries physically, emotionally, and mentally. We have to set boundaries spiritually too. Yeah, I was sheltered as a child too, and I was not to be seen or heard. I didn't have any boundaries because I wasn't supposed to exist. So he was threatened with the competition for your affection. But you had to have set some boundaries because you're not together now. You know, how many women, okay, I have known really, really, really strong women, okay, very successful, very strong, very knowing of who they are, okay? And then we have somebody that comes in and undermines everything they are very slowly in a way that we don't even suspect, and gets in and undermines all that self-esteem, those boundaries, that self-worth, everything. Gina, I kind of think some of that had to do with the belief that you'd never find that kind of happiness again. I think maybe that's something we all need to clear. See, everybody left now. Now we're going to get down to all the spiritual stuff. So, bubble technique, Gina. Bubble technique. Clear that belief system that you would never find that kind of love again. So somewhere in there, you've got a belief system that he was the love of your life, and you'll never find that again. You need to clear that, hun. But you've got to word it in a way you don't expect to find that, but you've got to allow it to happen. So you need to clear that belief system, hun. Maybe you need to clear that I'm not open to another healthy, loving relationship. So there's some kind of belief systems in there that's stopping that. That's the thing. See, we also create with those beliefs and those blockages, we also create what we don't want in our lives because we don't believe that it's going to happen. Yeah. But if we had healthy boundaries, we wouldn't put ourselves in situations like that in the first place. But see, you have put out, Tiffany, you have put out a major, major invitation for change in your life. You have let go of a lot of belief systems and blocks, and you are just coming to do some major, major, major changes in more ways than one. So if you can look back at a situation where you had no boundaries, what would you do different? And that's the one we've talked about, right? So maybe that, yeah. Men always suck at communicating, though. And you don't have to feel like you're settling. So maybe that's a belief system you need to look at. Maybe you need to go in and clear that men don't know how to communicate, or he doesn't know how to communicate. But if you start clearing some of your belief systems, you may shift how he is, hon. That's the thing. When we put that belief system out there, that point of view, or that negative self-talk, then we are putting out blockages also. But see, you've set the boundaries, Tiffany. You are allowing for the boundaries to come up. You are making the positive changes. You are valuing yourself more. You know? You're so funny, Gina. This one is stupid reserved. Clear it, and see if things won't change. Everything that you're typing up here, put it in the bubble. Use the bubble technique and see if it doesn't change some of the energy. If it doesn't, then it's not work. There's another way to tell. Okay? How many of you have I taught the technique to pay attention to what your body's telling you? Okay? So think of something that makes you truly happy and just relax. Like you're meditating. Just think of something that truly makes you super, super happy. That's your yes. And then think about that person and see how your body reacts. See how your body reacts. The first person I taught this in the last week, she said she got butterflies in her stomach when she thought about him. And another person said they got sick when they thought about him. Your body will tell you. If you're around somebody and your body tenses up, that's your body telling you, yeah, you need to watch your boundaries too. Yeah. Yeah. Your body will tell you, hun. Your body will tell you. But there's still, you may be done with him, but I want you to look at some of those belief systems around relationships. Like you're never going to find what you had with your husband again. You could have something that makes you happy, but you've got to allow yourself to have it. because we block, because when we believe something, you can ask for the universe for something over and over again, but it's going to run into a blockage here. It's going to come over. Okay, here's an opening. Here's another opening. Until it comes down to you in a watered down version, okay, because it's run into all these belief systems, this negative self-talk. Yes. Oh, honey, they're pushing through all our boundaries. This is what I'm talking about. You know what? Our whole system is undermining. Girl, I have been expecting for 2 years for rioting to happen. I have been watching this country and wondering where in the hell are all the protesters. They have come in and undermined our whole belief systems, just like I'm talking about. A narcissist will come in and undermine all your belief systems without you even knowing it. That's exactly the same thing that's happening with our country right now. And Gina, you need to clear that belief system that I will never find that again. And that you're old. Girl, there's always somebody out there for us. We just need to allow it. You want somebody that's, yeah. So I'm the one. No, I'm a Libra. I observe everything. I look for the balance in everything, and everything has been out of balance for a long time. It's like, when are these people going to wake up? And then I would bring it up to my boys, and they just think I'm absolute idiot. I said, well, you know what? I told my oldest, I said, I'm a few years older than you. I've seen some different things. So I put the protests out there. It's all my fault. No, I put out there that people needed to awaken. Whether that's on a physical level or a spiritual level, there needs to be an awakening, Oh, I don't know, girl. If you go in and watch some of Gaia, if you go in and watch Missing Links, Greg Braden has a program called Missing Links, and he says that there are different cycles. The earth goes through a cycle where it goes up and down. We go through a financial cycle where it goes up and down. And we go through an economic, physical, intellectual type thing. And they're all converging in the same time frame right now. Yes. Yes. And what they talk about is the indigenous people are so smart. They have passed down stories word for word through centuries, through generations, and they talk about 5,000-year cycles. So you and your dad have been talking about missing links. Yeah, so they're talking about the different cycles. There's one rock out there that has a circle around it that kind of gives a history of this 5,000-year cycle. You didn't even know what we're talking about. Oh, that's funny. Oh. harassment. Yeah, so all these timelines are converging. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he is. And see, all my moderators, they didn't like the way we started out our little spiritual talk tonight. So they've all left. We're not even talking about ghosts. I don't know what you're talking about. We're not talking about ghosts at all. Yeah, I'm trying to boot him. I'm not talking about spirits at all. Yeah, you're not even listening to what we're talking about, so. Exactly. Yep, I just kicked him out. Exactly. Boundaries. Boundaries. But you know, so one of the things I was impressed with on Gaia, mind-boggling. If he, because Greg Braden goes around the world and reads all the ancient texts. This man was a geologist and studied all these things and then got interested in the spirituality of everything. And so he has gone back in, and when they are talking about the sun, the wind, the oceans, stuff like that, that's hydrogen, oxygen, water, and you go in and really look at what they're saying. They were very intelligent, very very in the know, much more than we are now. Yeah, we're talking about boundaries. Yeah. But one of the things that I was shocked. Oh, he was talking about if you go in and look at the DNA, we're so far away from boundaries. Okay. If you go in and look at the DNA, somebody has deliberately spliced our DNA. They cut it, they reversed it at a certain spot. Okay. But if you go in and look, if you look at ancient languages, they have a number and they have a letter next to them. If you go in and look at the numbers and the letters with what corresponds on the DNA, there's a message in there. That's a lot of it, Gina. What has happened is this happened like 700 years ago for the Reformation. It was the same planets coming back together again in order to trigger change for the better. Yeah. And yeah. But the thing is, so Gina, let me ask you this. How much spiritual growth have you gone through in the last 5 months? Seriously. Everybody has had to take time to slow down and listen. That's one of the things I tell people is if you sit down and close your eyes and just try to even listen for 10 minutes a day, it can change your whole life, okay? Tiffany, if you go look at his, he does a whole chart and everything. He lays out how we are not even related, okay, to the monkey and the human. We are something totally different that has not changed for 250,000 years. And Gina, the only way we're gonna get rid of hate is if people let go of yesterday and focus on the now. Taddy's here. You guys. That's good. I'm glad you're spending time with them, hon. Did you give her the necklace yet? Thank you, Taddy. We've got one little troll. Glad you got to come in. Yeah, people didn't like how I started out with the talk tonight, talking about boundaries, so they all logged off, Taddy. Even Casey left. Okay, so when he was talking about the DNA stuff, he says that when they spliced it, and if you sit down and you look at, like I said, the letters and the numbers and the languages, he says if you look at the DNA, okay, if you look at the DNA, then it says it's got a message on it, and it says God internal, God external, God eternal within the body. That was like, what? Because I've always been taught that we are God experiencing itself. So when he said that, it's like, what? Yeah. Well, there's one more person on here too. I think it was Donna, so, or Gloria. Yes. Yes, exactly. But okay, so kind of back to boundaries. We have been taught, hey Donna, I'm glad you're still here, hon. We have been taught that we have to act like this, that, and that, or we don't fit in. Everybody's coming in, dipping in, and saying hi and bye. Good to see you, Bulldog. So if you look at organized religion, you have to do this, that, or you don't belong. You're ostracized. Anything that's different that does not fit man's reality, you're ostracized from. But we're supposed to come in and experience and learn and grow. So there are healthy and unhealthy boundaries. And one of the, I had to tell somebody earlier how to put up a spiritual boundary. I had to reinforce mine because this person is persistent. They are trying to get through to me and working past any boundaries that I have up. And it's like, okay, so I put up a whole nother boundary. Yes. You know, just like the Wicca, they tell you, go do what you will, but do no harm, you know? And one of the things that the Lord of Karma was talking about is how mankind has abused free will Well, part of that is coming in and taking away our free will and telling us that you don't fit in if you don't do this and that and that, you know? Yes. Well, people are always going to hurt you, but when you take your power back, then you're standing firm in your own beliefs and your own self-worth and your own self-esteem. Yeah, do no harm, but take no shit. One of the things, hey, Riddy. So one of the things is, like I said, it's just what kind of non-boundaries is that created by, they tell you, organized religion tells you, well, if you love yourself, that's vanity. Okay, that's one of the things that we need to do is love ourselves, have some self-worth, self-esteem, Yeah, somebody else brought that up earlier. Somebody brought that up earlier yeah, that they had some conversations on boundaries today too. Safe, you're funny. You're funny. We're okay. We're just talking about boundaries, hun. No, I'm not a medium. I know. He wants me to prove I'm a medium, but I'm not a medium. And I don't see spirits. I don't talk to spirits. Oh my God. I keep booting him, but it's only giving me the option to put him out for 5 minutes. Oh, yeah. See, that's one of the things that I had to do this week. The doctors don't listen to me. They have everything stuck in their head. I told him that I couldn't take a higher medication, and he put me on it anyway, and major complications, So it's like I thought my legs were going to explode and my feet. Yeah, I've been, yeah, I've always been funny about medication since I was a little kid. And I told this guy, and it's funny because back in February, I had an astrologist. I had an astrologist from India that I talked to. He told me in February, pay attention to your medications. So in March, I came down with a kidney and bladder infection and turned out to be the start of kidney failure, stage 3 kidney failure. Come to find out, it was some of the medications I was on for blood pressure. And then the one that I am on to regulate my heart rate, he doubled it. And I told him I can't do that. Sure enough. So now he's starting to pay attention that I'm sensitive to things. So if I have to get up and run to the bathroom, ladies, I hope you understand. Okay, Tiffany, now what you do is you close your eyes. Okay, I had to do some forgiveness in order to do some healing the other night. Okay, but this is what you need to do. You need to close your eyes. I want you to look at your hip area. Anything that looks out of place, I want you to call in the Archangel Raphael and his healing team, okay, to heal those tears in your hip. Okay? And start visualizing when you're in that meditation, start visualizing it coming together. Now, I knew this was a powerful healing technique, but I didn't realize how powerful until one of my son's friends, he has been into spirituality and he thought he was the only person in the world. He's never talked to anybody else about his spiritual beliefs and stuff. And that's a whole story there. His sister and brother-in-law were in a car accident and they both had bleeding in their brain. So I told him to ask permission to go in and do the healing work, scan the energy field and see what he could clear in there, because if you have anything floating around, if it's black, you want to make the polar opposite of white, and you're going to bounce them together to clear anything that's in your auric field. So I told him, so go in and clear their energy field, and then go in and scan the body and see what you see out of whack, and call in the Archangel Raphael and his healing team. He didn't do that, but he went in and he saw the blood brain in her first. And he went in and he did some work on it. Now, this is interesting. Okay, and then he did, I think the next day he went in and did that to the brother-in-law also. So he called me the other night and said they both said to tell me thank you, because they were aware, they were aware that he went into the darkness and that they saw him doing something that brought them into the light. And it's like they both said, we don't know what happened. Thank you for telling him how to do this. Thank you. Yeah. So it's a very powerful healing technique. We are all healers. It's only what we allow ourselves, again, setting boundaries. If we don't have good boundaries and we have all these belief systems and points of view and negative self-talk, then we block anything from healing. We block the ability to heal. We block our abilities to believe anything. That's what I was talking about, Gina. You need to clear some of those belief systems. Yeah. But see, divine universe, you allow yourself, you allow yourself to have the ability to do that. If somebody had told you at some point when you were little that was evil, that was witchcraft, you wouldn't allowed yourself in order to allow yourself to do that. Hey, Miriam. So, Gina, I want you to sit down and look at your belief systems about relationships. This is one of the things I was saying. If you go in and clear that I will never find a loving, passionate relationship again, it may open up a whole new avenue for you. We're not doing readings tonight, hon. We're just doing spiritual talk. I won't do readings again till Sunday night. But Tiffany, If you believe that you can heal it, then it can be healed, hon. Just try going in and putting, but see, again, you're putting a boundary on it. You say you believe in it, but you're still putting a boundary on it, Gina. Okay? Of course it'll be different. Every relationship is different, hon, but you're still putting a blockage on it somehow. So sit down and look at your belief systems around relationships and start clearing some of that. The bubble technique, yeah. Maybe you should ask permission to go in and do some healing work on her too. Oh. But if we don't believe that we can do it, then we're not going to be able to do it. That's like I can talk till I'm blue in the face, offering somebody ways of alternative ways of healing and stuff, but they've got to be open and believe that it works. A lot of people, their belief system is the doctors are like gods and they know everything and only the doctor can help them. And the doctor I went to yesterday, oh my God, young guy, I had to get a referral for the doctor that I had to see while COVID started. And he goes, why would I give you a referral for this person? They're a step down from me. And I thought, what? Yeah. Uh-huh. Good night, Bulldog. Yes. So look at your limitations. Okay, look at your boundaries. What do you believe that can happen and not happen? Good night, hon. Take care of yourself. But in the meantime, Tiffany, you can try to do, yes, exactly, Divine Universe. If you go in and play around with that a little bit and see if you can at least improve the pain and the mobility a little bit, even though you need to have the surgery. Because, illnesses need to come in through the physical level, through the spiritual level. It's created by some belief system or something that we have. And it comes in through it comes in because we've created it. So the belief system goes out and then it comes back in to the physical through all the different layers. Okay. And creates problems. And that's one of the reasons I like homeopathy, because you may start out with like a 6, which would be on the physical level, and then they water it down some, they dilute it, okay? Then they have a 30, then they have a 200. Every time they dilute it, it becomes more powerful because it goes farther out in the etheric field. Exactly. That all go back again to boundaries, Divine Universe. If we have strong boundaries, then we won't put ourselves into those toxic environments. And your body, that's one of the things we were talking about earlier, is your body will let you know when you're in toxic environments. So, Divine Universe, I want to ask you. So, I'm going to ask you for a number. I want you to give me the first number that pops into your head, okay? What percentage of that depression is yours? First number that pops in your head, hon. Okay, you overthought it then because it's usually not over 25%, okay? Ah, but see, we're all empaths. You may have 20%. Yeah, your body will tell you before anything else. So you're overthinking it, Divine Universe. So you may have 20% of that depression may be yours. Yeah, 20% is you creating the situation, but the other 80% you're picking up from other people, and it makes the situation feel worse. So don't claim other people's stuff. So I'm going to ask you again, close your eyes, relax. What percentage of the depression is yours? How are you doing, Carissa? So you feel that you let yourself pick up other people's stuff too? We're kind of all over the place tonight, Carissa. We're talking about boundaries and yeah. Right. So ask again. You're creating that situation. You are picking up other people's stuff. Not all of it is yours. So I'm going to ask you again. Yeah, we're talking about empaths right now. What percentage of the depression is yours, not the situation that you have put out there to pick up other people's stuff? What percentage is actually yours? And if anybody has any way to set boundaries for empaths, please tell me. Because I can block things on a spiritual level and everything, but as an empath, I have no way. I have not discovered any way to block picking up other people's stuff. %. Okay, so what you're going to do, Divine Universe, is you're going to send that other 50% back to whoever it came from with love and consciousness. Oh, I hide from the world too. Honey, I can't believe that I do YouTube videos because I'm a hermit. I'm an introvert and I'm doing this stuff on YouTube. And yes, we do pick up other people's stuff. So what you do, Carissa, is you send it back to whoever it came from. Okay, you send it back to both of you. You send the energy back to whoever it came from with love and consciousness. Because if you're carrying it around for them, they're not learning their life lessons. So you need to send their energy back so you can deal with your own energy. That's another way of setting boundaries. Does that make sense? I'm an 11 teacher. I always thought, you're crazy. I'll never put myself out there. And then what am I doing now? And of course, being a hermit, it wasn't so bad for me like it was some people on being home with the virus. Yeah. And but even it started getting to me, even having to stay home. I do hide from the world. I hide in books. I hide behind doing my tarot cards. I hide behind my spirituality. Yeah. I don't know a lot about numerology, but I know 8 is also somebody that seems to be able to manifest money really a lot too. But then again, they also can loop back and forth. They're stuck in lessons. It's a Mobius strip, and it's runs things. Yeah, the lockdowns worked well for you. It just started getting to me. Hi, Simran. I'm fine, hon. How are you doing? We're talking about boundaries tonight. So this is spiritual talk night. We'll do readings again on Sunday. But now we're working on, we've talked about physical boundaries and stuff, and now we're talking about pretty much about spiritual boundaries now. I'm telling you this. Okay, so last week I did the whole week, every night readings. Okay. That was some major lessons for me. One of the things was learning how to receive. That was huge. That was huge. Another is the need to define something, because somebody says, well, you said it was fated, it was meant to be. Just because something is fated and meant to be does not mean that you still do not have free will and choice. You know? So somebody was asking me to take 1 week out of the month and do readings like that. Just once a month, every night. Okay, Tiffany, you should be able to get a medical exemption for it. I have severe asthma and I have to kind of cheat a little bit. See, having a job also works well for your self-esteem, doesn't it, hon? Sometimes you've got to choose you first. That's setting a boundary. Your body, if you're next to somebody and your body tenses up, or like one gal last week, I had her go in and do that technique. Close your eyes, find your happy, and then think about this person. Well, she got butterflies in her stomach, so she didn't tense up or anything. The numbers are going up all over, hon, because we're not working with so I was talking to somebody earlier, they were talking about, we have a white privilege problem. And I said, no, we have an American problem. Americans think that, oh, you can't make me do anything, that it's against my rights. But how is it if it's not? How many people are going to end up with long-term effects from even having it lightly? It's causing major lung problems, kidney problems, heart problems, long-term, because it's hitting the younger people now. Exactly, Carissa. Your body will tell you before your mind, before your consciousness um, is aware of it. That's why I teach the technique to train your body what's a yes and what's a no. Because you might be in a situation like I told my grandson, oh gosh, when he was little, I told him, if you ever walk into a room and you get a funny feeling in your stomach, get the hell out of there. He went into a party. He says, I walked in the door, got a funny feeling in my stomach, turned around and walked out. 4 people were shot at the party that night. So pay attention to what your body's telling you. Yep. Oh, I know, honey. I know your surgery. Yeah. I hope everything goes well. You know, you can also visualizing all of that healing up quickly so you won't have so much pain, hon. You know, Carissa, this guy might be somebody that you have spent several lifetimes with, some good lifetimes. Yeah, when I had my knee surgery, I used some homeopathy for the pain. In fact, the doctor freaked out because I wasn't using pain pills and I was using the homeopathy. It worked better than the pain pills. They just look at me like I'm nuts. There's lots of things you can do to work on you, hun. So I spent, I was a hermit until 3 years ago. And then I started doing the readings on Facebook and now I'm on YouTube. So it's like, yeah. For me, this is huge, huge, huge. But Divine Universe, didn't you say you just got a new job too? Didn't even know. So we come in groups of about 500 soulmates. Yeah. So do you like your job, Divine Universe? It's almost like he knew you were a soulmate before you did, huh, Carissa? Give it some time, Tiffany. Just give it some time, hun. Start out with family and friends. My grandson just thinks I'm absolutely amazing. I said, that's so funny. Because everybody always thought you were weird when I was growing up. He says, now I think you're the smartest person that I ever knew. I said, that's funny. I always thought that I'm not going to be able to share with what I know with any of my kids or grandkids. And now all of a sudden, 2 of my grandsons are interested. So you didn't like him at first. Isn't that the way it goes? We run into somebody that's our soulmate and we don't like them at first. My daughter and her husband absolutely hated each other at first. He was the brother of her best friend. And he finally sat down and asked his sister if he could date her. She goes, oh, hell no. She goes, you're not going to just mess around with her and drop her. And he goes, no, I'm not going to do that. And they get married. But they hated each other at first. I'm happy for you, Divine Universe. It gives you more of a sense of independence, too. It's cute. They are total opposites, too. It is so funny. So, Carissa, when you talk about you saw yourself changing, so were you seeing it as more of an enlightenment? Yes, opposites attract. And it's funny because he's tall and skinny and she's short and heavy too. But, so Divine Universe, you start asking the universe questions. What else is possible here? How can it get better than this? It opens up new opportunities for you, Don't limit what the universe can do for you. And that's exactly what he's doing. If he brings in a sense of calm and safety and stuff to you, he's grounding you more. So let's talk about boundaries with readers a little bit. This is something that I want to stress because I can understand why the Bible says beware of fortune tellers, because I have a good example. One of my friends does healing work on some really deep levels, and they have an intention out there to the universe that the people that come in and work with them come once or twice and then they're healed, because they don't want to keep taking people's money. They want to open up the energy for other people to come in and get healed, right? So she wasn't getting well, and they said, okay, we're going to sit down and ask her some questions. So they asked her some questions, and she said, oh, hold on, I need to call my psychic and ask her. Oh my God. What kind of karmic situation are these two people setting up? She's given her free will away to the reader, and the reader's taken her free will. That's where you worry about. That sometimes I worry about people coming every Sunday and asking questions. It's like becoming dependent on a psychic. But I keep telling you guys, 99% of what I tell you, you already know. Hey, Bree. Okay. Never give your power away to reading. If you don't like something you heard, make a decision, choice, and change it, because God gave you that free will. I'm trying to give you the energy around you to empower you to make choices and decisions that are best for you. Always do what's best for you. Don't let somebody tell you you need to do something. Sometimes I word it funny and make it sound like it's something you need to say, and I apologize when I do that. But I'm trying to give you the energy around you so you can make choices and decisions. Yes. Yes. I have just totally quit listening to readers because it wasn't happening anyway. I don't seem to fit in with Libra or Scorpio or any of them. Yes. So, but that's my worry, doing the readings for everybody every Sunday and then becoming dependent on it. So, and I try to stress that, you've got to. I'm just trying to empower you to make choices and decisions for yourself. We have that free will. Use it. I just give you the energy. You make the choices and decisions. And if something's going on in your life you don't like, make a choice, change it. That's something I've had to learn big time. Big time. So I have spent the last 40 years learning different healing techniques. And I think that I would not be able to do tarot cards if I had not learned to do healing work. Because with healing work, you take a step back and you allow the energy to flow through you. Sometimes when I'm doing tarot readings and something comes through, I'm thinking, do I want to say that? And what I have learned to do is kind of trust what comes through, So I have learned all these healing techniques in order to work on me. Now, I've noticed lately I've had to pull it out a few times to tell people, to suggest to people how to do some things. So it's yeah. Why would they tell you we're dying? That's crazy. Why? I don't know. I try to focus on the positive. I had somebody that had a situation. I almost quit doing readings. Okay. She had a really bad situation pop up in her family. And she messaged me. She said, "Oh my God, you called it. You called it to a T." She says, there's something that needs to be brought into the light because of the situation. She says, "I could tell you were trying to put a positive spin on it." She says, "But you nailed it. Everything that happened," she goes, "you nailed it ahead of time." And it's like, wow, I almost quit because I don't know. I'd like to focus on the positive. Yeah, I know, Carissa. Yeah. That's like if somebody comes in and tells you they're going to put a spell on you. If you believe it, then it's going to work. But then I don't know how that works because I question that, because I always believe that if you don't believe that they can do that they can't do that. But then I had my ex come in and undermined me and didn't find out till 35 years later that he had a spell on me through his sister. I went in to cut cords with him, but he was coming in through his sister, so I had to go in and clear cords through his whole family and down through my kids and my grandkids, and ask for the kids and the grandkids to reattach in a healthier way. And Tiffany, I'm glad I've helped you in a lot of ways. But like I said, I do try to inspire you guys to make choices and decisions. Well, like I said, I try to give you the energy around you so you can make choices and decisions. If you don't like something I'm telling you, make a choice, change it. And you are such a powerful being. I could give you a reading that's spot on, but you could make a choice and invalidate everything that I just told you. You have that power. You have that ability. And all I can do is give you the energy around the cards, and whatever pops up in my mouth sometimes yes. We are all manifestors. We all create what we have in our lives with our belief systems, with our boundaries. And again, if you set up those boundaries with your belief systems, and you're blocking the universe from giving to you, or you have belief systems that that you don't deserve respect, you don't have good self-esteem, then you're blocking the universe from helping you also. I know. See, that's why when I tell you guys to send back other people's energy, send it back with love and consciousness, because they really do need to be aware that it's their energy and that they need to deal with it. Because as long as you're carrying it around for them, they're not going to deal with it. So, yeah. So I try to empower you to take control of your life and make choices and decisions. That's like one night I did a reading for somebody. In fact, for 3 weeks in a row, I did a reading for somebody. Same card pulled up, the Emperor. I said, this guy's very, very controlling. She says, I don't care. I love him. And the last time popped out of my mouth, yeah, well, you're going to care later. And it's like, I thought, okay, I try not to put a personal opinion in there, but that just popped out. See, I know that I think it's my spirit guides that come in and talk to me at night, but I don't hear them when I'm doing readings. But see, yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is the type of energy that people are putting out there. We are not going to heal this world until everybody lets go of the past and focuses on the now, which is kind of what the virus forced everybody to do, was focus on the now, but then everybody was worried about the future too. Ooh. Sorry, guys. Haven't been sleeping good. I find it interesting that everybody wanted me to have spiritual talks, and then they come in and they don't like the topic, and then they leave because I'm not doing readings. See, but this is what I say too, is we all come in, we have no right to judge anybody else because we don't know what they came in to learn. Okay? And what can I say? We can't say what's right or wrong for somebody else because we don't know what they came in to learn. And we're all supposed to be different. This is why I have issues with organized religion, because they tell you you have to be like this, that, and that. Again, that's tapping into boundaries. Okay? And that if you don't, that you're going to go to hell, or you don't belong, or you're ostracized, or you're shunned, or whatever, that you're wrong. That you're wrong. Yeah, everybody has different lessons. Everybody has different things they came in to learn. And we don't know what lessons they came in to learn. We don't know what contracts, like I was going to tell you about this a while ago, Tiffany. So I have had troubles forgiving my first husband, even though I know he contracted to come in and teach me that lesson. Okay, so And I think that's part of the reason that these kidney problems came up, because that's anger. So when I went in to do that technique where you scan the body and the kidneys and everything, I would run into gray spots in the kidneys. So the other night I sat down and I had to work on some forgiveness. And I asked the archangels to come in and neutralize everything and clear it. And now when I look at the kidneys, they're pink. Hey, M, how are you? We don't have no mods here tonight, M. They all got bored with the conversation and left because we're talking about boundaries. So I had to go, like I said, I had to go in and do some forgiveness with him and a couple other people, and then the kidneys, the yeah. Yeah. Exactly. This is what I was trying to tell somebody. You don't forgive somebody for them. That does not make what they did right, but it's healing and peace of mind for you. Like I said, they didn't like the topic. We started to, yeah. Now Taddy has company. I know that's why she couldn't be here. Casey, she come in and she got bored, I think, and decided, nah, I'm gonna listen to this. So yeah. And Bree popped in for a little bit. She's the one that kept telling me we need to have a spiritual talk night. She came in for a little bit. Yes, it's, yeah, setting boundaries. Setting boundaries. So, how are you tonight, Em? Yeah, she's an awesome person. She is an awesome person. I think that she was just bored with the subject. Because we were talking, okay, so Em, what are boundaries to you? I figured everybody'd be here and they'd give input and we'd all learn a lot tonight because I know I need to set boundaries, Yeah. Yeah. So it's interesting. She is beautiful. She's beautiful in person too. She took me to lunch the other day. She's awesome. How's the new job, hun? Yeah, Em lives about an hour from me. We had Mexican food. Message me and let me know when it's time to do your reading, hun. Mexican food. I have to be careful because I can't eat salsa anymore. That sucks. Somebody told me, how can you not eat certain foods? I said, well, if you want to feel better, then it doesn't matter if you have to. I'm telling you, she's cute in person too. Yeah. So is that sad face for the new job, Em? So it looks like we have some new people. No, they just dropped off. Yeah. So yeah, boundaries. Yeah, it is sad I can't eat salsa. I think if I do it maybe once a month, I'll be okay. But these doctors are trying to kill me off with these medications. Cool. I make some pretty good Mexican food. So this is what boundaries are: mental, emotional, spiritual, physical walls we need to have to protect us from being used, controlled, manipulated, or abused by others. They help us to define clearly who we are, what is best for us. It is accumulating well-being on all levels to create a healthy, safe image. This tells the world that you have self-worth and a healthy self-respect. So we've been talking about, always seem to end up on the spiritual boundaries. So one of the things I had to do this week is I have boundaries up for a certain person. He's a little bit ticked off about it. He's looking for ways to get around those boundaries. Uh-huh. I would appreciate it if you would send me that recipe, Tiffany. Wow, yeah, you're a busy lady. So, like I said, I put up boundaries for this person. He's looking for ways to get around it. He must have found something because he started trickling in. So I went in and built an infinite spiritual wall with a door in it and a key and locked it. So we have ways of blocking people off spiritually. And this guy must have been attached to me from past life, because one of the things when I teach you how to cut cords is to go in and ask for stealth cords also. Stealth cords are invisible cords. They're ways that people sneak in and attach to you in ways that we don't know. So I had somebody doing healing work on me, and she goes, this guy's attached to your breath. So he had snuck in and was attached to my breath. And she says what she got when she tapped into it was she's the breath of my life. And I'm thinking it was from past life stuff. I don't know. So he didn't say a word. I am. But sometimes you got to tell them on a spiritual level, or they keep because sometimes they may not be in the physical level, but they may be there on a spiritual level. Yeah. See, this guy was coming back in my dreams again, so that's how I knew that he found another way. It's like Give it up already. You don't want to do anything. You don't want to make any move in the physical. So I'm blocking you off spiritually also, you know? It is real. Because when I blocked this guy, he was mad. Really mad. So, and pay attention to your emotions for the next few days and see if you're picking up his emotions empathically. I think the most, Tiffany, did I tell you the Phoenix dream? That was interesting. I'll never forget that dream. Okay, so I know I've been Native American in a lot of lifetimes, and I think that the Native American spirituality is more right on than any religion. So I'm very much in touch with that. And I have learned a lot and experienced a lot of things that other people haven't experienced. Okay. So I was organizing in my dream, I was organizing an interaction between a powwow and a group of people that wanted to connect spiritually. So we were all in the campgrounds. I was invited over to talk to some of the Native American elders. And I remember them giving me their names, and they were trying to help me say their names. Okay, and we'll talk about that in a minute. So after we met and they helped me with their names and stuff, I took a walk through the campgrounds and ran into two Native American boys that were carrying a bunch of food. And I asked them where they were going. And they said, we're going over there to that tower. There's an animal there that we need to feed. I said, oh, well, maybe I'll come along with you and I'll help you. So I get down there. They hand me the food. They open the door. They push me in the door, close the door. Yes, they're very spiritual. I think, like I said, they're more right on than anything because they seem to hand down the word for word the teachings through the generations. So they push me in this door, and I'm standing here with this food, and there's this great big huge phoenix thrashing around with a chain around his neck. He turned around and looked at me and got quiet, shrunk himself down to about a 1 foot size. I saw the chain drop to the floor, and he come over and sat on my shoulder. And then he turned into like smoke and went into my body. I said, okay, that's interesting. So I turned around and walked out of this big tower, and all the Native Americans were all looking at me. And I felt a little self-conscious, right? And then they all bowed down to me, and I woke up because I didn't feel comfortable them bowing down to me. Yeah. So to me, well, the Phoenix is transformation and change anyway. And that, yeah, that was an interesting dream. A Heyoka. Aha. So she's paying attention to the conversation. Oh, the dream was vivid, and the Phoenix was in color. What can she tell me about the Heyoka? Lightning spirits, yeah. But I feel like it's still with me. Yeah. Oh, so the other night, okay, so I was driving out here, got to the stop sign, and then there was a little blue bird walking back and forth about 3 feet across and back in front of me. So that was a bluebird. This is in the physical, okay? And bluebirds usually represent some happiness coming in. So then I left, I went to the store, came back, and there was a raven feather out here. So when I look up raven, it talks about change, and they are like the doorway to magic. So, and they were talking about major change also. Past life. Well, I know the phoenix burns itself up and rises again out of the ashes. Yeah. So what kind of birds are showing up on your window, Donna? But do you know what kind of birds they were, hon? They were like robins or bluebirds, or what color were they, hon? And I was talking to somebody the other day. They were saying they were seeing a lot of red cardinals. That was interesting because I was working with the medicine woman, and she was going to do classes on a for some people, and we were going to build shields. So when we went in to do, so we were supposed to be given a gift from the Great Spirit every month to put on this field, the shield. What happened for me was they started coming in on a spiritual level. I built a great big shield of golden light. And one of the things that popped up for me was the first swallow. Okay. The first, before the golden shield, somebody gave me a little cardinal. They don't have cardinals here, but they gave me a cardinal. And I said, that's interesting. So I looked up cardinals, and they talk about a major happiness change over a period of 1 year. And I said, that is so funny because this commitment to build the physical shields was supposed to be for a year. But then I went in and built the spiritual shield rather than the physical shield, probably because the universe knew I didn't have the money to do it in the first place. I have been gifted with so many things. Okay, so are you running away from these people throwing rocks at you, huh? I don't have my book. I don't know what swallows mean. might ask them why they're throwing rocks at you. I have had dreams about being in Atlantis. They had a lot of traditions like the Native Americans do, a lot of ceremonies. And they say that the Native Americans are descendants of the people from Atlantis. And then I had somebody tell me a past life to where I was in the Four Corners area with the Native Americans that were like the second generation after the Atlanteans landed in that area. Oh, remind me to tell you about that one, Em. It kind of explains the origin of the different Native American tribes. Wow. Blue in your face and red. Yeah, remind me to tell you about that. Yeah, that was. You know what's funny is I got up that morning and I was listening to a CD. It's called "Tear of the Moon" by Coyote Oldman, and it's Native American flute and Incan pipes. And I was crying. And then we went down, my friend, she does past life readings. Somebody was asking some questions. And I had to take my friend, and I said, well, should I go back? And this little voice pops in my head and says, well, if you go back, you're going to cry. And then I went back and she started telling about this past life for this other person, and I'm crying the whole time. And we were all connected. Wow. That would be a weird dream, Tiffany. Yeah. I don't have my book, or I'd look up swallows for Donna. And then, yeah. You should have been in here earlier when we had a troll. He come in and started saying, she's a fake, she's a fake. She's a medium and she lies. What else did he say? Yeah, talking all kinds of stuff. And I said, I've never claimed to be a medium. I have heard. So that was one of the first times when that voice popped in my head and told me if I went back, I was going to cry. That's one of the first times I heard something. I was warned that my sister was going to have health problems and I was going to need to find another babysitter. I did think I would like to start a spiritual center. How am I going to do this? And this voice popped in my head and said I'd have a man in my life that would help me. I had a voice and visions pop up in my head warning me that my son was going to be shot. That was a whole adventure. You know what, honey? Sometimes you got to have faith and the trust in the universe. I just said, you know what? If I tell my kids they can't go to this party, they're going to go anyway. I'm going to put them in your hands, universe. I'm going to ask for extra protection, extra angels around them, and put them in your hands. So my daughter busted in the room at 1:30 in the morning. So one of the questions was setting boundaries. What would you go back and do different? I would have gone back asked for everybody at that party to be protected rather than just my kids. I would have expanded it, but I was being shown precisely that it was my son. 4 kids were shot that night and 1 kid died. I would have gone back and asked specifically for everybody at the party. Yeah. Oh, have you ever felt anybody pull your foot in the middle of the night? One of my sister-in-laws would never sleep with her arm like this anymore because somebody came and grabbed her arm one night. I remember somebody grabbing my feet one night. Okay, so Tiffany, this is one of the things I talk about is putting up spiritual protection. Okay, what I do is I ask for the white Christ light of protection. Visualize this white egg-shaped light around me, infinite miles above, infinite miles below, infinite miles around and through, inside and out. Okay. And then I ask for Archangel Michael to come in and put his blue protective energy around that out into infinity also, surrounding all that. And then I visualize this beautiful gold honey-colored light coming in and surrounding and sealing all of that out into infinity. Wow. And I keep that. I ask for it to be infinite through infinity so I don't have to keep putting it up all the time. And if I go back in and check, it's there all the time. And I know that if something comes through, it's because it's something I need to learn or be aware of. We used to have shadows walking through the house. Honest to God, ladies, I went to see The Exorcist. My God, I had just got married and had no idea what an exorcist was. Lived in my little shell. We saw that movie. We didn't sleep for a week. We could hear somebody walking across the ceiling, hitting the light, ding, ding, and then walking off again. And after that, we had shadows walking through the house all the time. I've never had an out-of-body experience. I do know that somebody comes in and educates me at night. I go like spiritual classes. They spent a whole night one night talking to me about the magician card, how it's representative of everything we learn in our lives. Everything's practice and study for where you are right now. It's not just the ability to manifest things. It's everything you go through to get to the point to that point, so you know what you want. Has anybody else had an out-of-body experience? Wow. I know that I have fairies in my house. I think the fairies have been around with me for a long time. I think I probably played, when I think about it, I think I played with fairies as a child. And of course, my mother told me things like that were bad. She also told me I was going to go to hell because God kept track of everything I thought, said, and did, wrote it on a cloud, which basically was the Akashic records. And then I was going to pay for everything I did. That caused me to not set any boundaries because I did not want to create any karma. Isn't it funny how things come around? I was scared to set boundaries because I did not want to create any karma. Wow. The Akashic records are everything that we think, do, and say, everything that has happened since the universe has come into existence. It's soul contracts we make, decisions we come in to on what we came in on each lifetime to learn, the people we have contracts with to put us through all those things. Everything about everything, exactly. Exactly. Oh, why is I said exactly and Alexa came up. Okay, the Akashic records just keep track of everything. They're like a record of everything since the universe started. We are a part of the Akashic records. And you know how they talk about the dark matter in the universe? If you've ever studied any astronomy, the dark matter in the universe is what's yet to be manifested. So whenever we visualize something, um, whenever we imagine something, we are causing it to be created in the universe. That's why I was wondered sometimes, when people write all these science fiction stories, these fantasies with the dwarves and the elves and the fairies and everything, I'm wondering how much they're pulling from an alternative universe. Yes, so you watching my channel is part of the Akashic records. Yes. Everything you think, do, or say is part of the Akashic records. It's a history. If I go in to do Akashic record reading, I go up, I do the prayers of and ask for permission and everything. Then you go up in this elevator, takes you to the floor that you need, and I walk out and there's this great big huge library. They do have you in some of the libraries you can go in and create your own. It's kind of interesting because my library is invisible and I could see the stars at night everywhere. Yeah, yeah. But it seems somebody explained that the Akashic records, and I thought this was interesting theory. The Akashic records that holds everything together. Everything together. The physical, the spiritual, everything. Ugh. Atoms. Yep. But there's an intelligence behind the atoms. Have any of you gone in and watched What the Bleep Do We Know yet? We are all connected. A lot of people that go in and have that out-of-body experience will see a silver cord attaching themselves to the body. Everything is connected. Yep. We are source experiencing itself. Yeah. It was gray. Yeah. A lot of people call it silver. Yeah. But we have cords between people. You need to talk to Em about that. Just because she was with this guy for 30 years does not mean that the cord will be thick. She just needs to ask the archangels to come in and cut and dissolve all ends of it. Oh, don't tell me we're going to have another thunderstorm. Alexa, notification.
One new notification from Alexa.
Another thunderstorm coming in. You can barely be with somebody for 2. I was with 17 years with the first husband, 11 with the second, because I did not want to create karma, because I believed that when you married somebody, you're supposed to stay with them forever. Our belief systems that we use to hold ourselves back. I have a girlfriend that's been married to a guy for 30 years. She won't leave him because she believes you have to stay married to your husband for the rest of your life, no matter how bad it is. I don't know if you heard me or not, hon, but you should not. Okay, don't worry about how thick the cord is with your ex. You just need to call in the archangels. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I just got another thunderstorm warning. So it'll be coming through. Oh, yeah. Me too. Yep. Me too, Em. You know, this is what I talk about. Our belief systems, our points of view, our negative self-talk, and then women, we are taught as women that it's our responsibility to make everybody else happy. That, again, is also a toxic boundary, or a toxic relationships not having any boundaries. Yep. Yep. Yeah. Exactly. It's part, and I sit down and like I said, with the they were telling me I had stage 3 kidney failure and I couldn't clear it. And I had to sit down and do some forgiveness the other night around several people. And then the angels were allowed to come in and heal it. Yep. 18 signs. You don't say anything when you are treated badly. You give away too much of your time. How many of these things are we all guilty of, okay? Yeah, I am feeling better. You agree when you should be disagreeing, okay? You say yes when you should say no. You feel bad when you take time for yourself. You feel taken for granted. You allow people to touch you when you feel uncomfortable and don't say no. You're always giving and not receiving anything in return. That's one of the things that I tell you guys all the time, okay? Clear with the bubble technique. It's better to give than it is to receive. You make sacrifices for others and you get hurt by it. You are passive aggressive and manipulate, trying to regain your power. I said, oh my gosh, that sounds like me. You constantly play the victim. You overshare your life's details. You feel like you always have to be nice. You feel like other people's happiness is your responsibility. That's something we're taught as a woman, okay? You always feel like you have to be what others want you to be, not who you need to be. You are out of touch with yourself and your own needs. You attract people who try to control or manipulate you. You are in constant fear about what people think about you. So take some time to heal and show some compassion for yourself. Yes. Yes. And that was huge, when I realized that, my mom put that boundary up there, telling me that God was going to judge me for everything I think, said, and did. So that was a huge block for me. Yep. My mom was raised in Unity Church. Yes, I know him. Me too. She was raised in Unity Church, but I think she had a limited view of the metaphysical concepts for it. It's like she used it against me rather than try to teach me. So, 12 benefits. You can say no. You can be empowered. You can feel more in control of your life. You attract healthier relationships, support partners, friends. You will have more energy mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually. You will be able to speak up and be heard. That's another thing I was raised at. I was not supposed to be seen or heard. Children did not exist. My grandfather never ever talked to me. Ever. But he had a gravelly old voice that when he did talk, I couldn't understand anything he said. And like I said, he never talked to me. And if he did, my mom had to tell me he was asking me a question. You will feel more in touch with your own needs, more for you, more happiness and balance, increased self-esteem and self-worth, more courage and freedom to be you. And it takes time to develop all of this. Oh, yeah. Always giving and never receiving. It's better to give than it is to receive. That's the first thing I tell you, ladies, to clear with the bubble technique. First thing, because if you do not know how to receive, how's the universe even going to give to you? So I'm sure this brought up a lot for us to clear tonight, all of us. I show there's 5 people here. So we have two people that are observing. And you are very welcome to contribute to the conversation. We're talking about not just boundaries on a physical level, but spiritual level too, you know? Donna's still here. So there's 4. So we actually have 2 people that are observing now because we have 6 people now. But we've got to set those spiritual boundaries too. And like I said, the last 3 days it's been popping up like crazy. I told somebody today that she needed to set some spiritual boundaries because she's picking up stuff in her dreams, you know, but she's not sending boundaries. Isn't that funny? I make people hungry. I always tease Casey. I tell her, go get your snacks now, because she's always hungry. And then somebody starts talking about pancakes, and then I want to go make gluten-free pancakes. Well, I was just shocked because I'm telling you guys to block your twin flame if they're not doing anything to try to come together in the physical. But this guy is persistent. Like I said, I had to go in and put in a whole nother level of protection, a whole nother wall. Yeah. And I was actually dreaming about him this morning. What was I dreaming this morning? She does mod all kinds of channels. She's a hoot. She's taught me a lot of things. She has taught me a lot of lessons since she came in and started being a mod. And one of the things was learning how to receive. Yes, take things very slow, hun. Very slow. I know my guy was quiet when I would tell him some things that he would tell me in my dreams. He never said nothing. But one of my friends that does healing work says, oh, he's a very powerful soul. So, don't know what's going to happen, but there's definitely some changes coming in. I'm just no longer to put up with any of the BS anymore, even on a spiritual level. You know, I told him, if you're not going to come back, you made it pretty clear that you don't. So just leave me alone, you know? Exactly. Boundaries. Everything comes back to boundaries. Reclaiming your own personal power, self-love, and respect. Everything comes back to boundaries. It's funny, my first husband called me a witch. And it wasn't me that was doing the witchcraft, it was his sister. they were always throwing on me what they were doing, right? So with second husband, he knew I did tarot. And he was fine with all the spiritual stuff. But then after we broke up, he told his mom one night, he goes, yeah, she's a witch. You don't even know what she's doing. His mom goes, if she was a witch, you'd still be with her. And you'd be behaving. The first husband, they hated me because I didn't drink and party and carry on like them. And she always, the one that did the witchcraft, always felt like I was a threat. Second family, I still talk to them all. I just love my sister-in-laws and brother-in-laws. They talk to me on Facebook and everything. They all love me. And my mother-in-law loved me till the day she died, you know. But it's so funny. Yeah, if she was a witch, you'd still be together and you'd be behaving yourself. Yeah. I don't do anything like that because I just feel like I don't like to mess with anybody's free will. I'm too busy trying to empower you guys to use your free will. I cut ties about a year ago, with my first husband's family because he had gone and put a spell on me through his sister that I would never find anybody to love me. Or, you know, he was doing everything he could to block me ever finding a loving relationship. And it wasn't until I had a reading with somebody that she picked up on that because she kept seeing my first husband kept telling me to, addictive family galore, drinkers, gamblers, partiers, smoking pot all the time. They were at my house partying all the time while I was working all day. They'd mess up my house and then turn around and call me a pig. I'm not the one that made the messes. I was the maid that cleaned up everything. So I went and cut cords with his whole family, and I had to do that with my children and my grandchildren too, and then invite them in to reconnect. And when they came in to reconnect, it was interesting to see who came first. It was one of my grandsons. And they all came in a different energy. They all came in with a different energy. Yeah. I got a new crystal today. Oh no. He's never known his sister. That's so sad. I got a new pendulum today. Very heavy pendulum. It's an amethyst. I wasn't going to order anything on Amazon, and this popped up, and I said, oh, it's calling me. That's what I was saying earlier. I always believed that people couldn't put a spell on you if you didn't believe in it. And this man had a spell on me for 35 years. 35 years. It's like, and the night that I cleared that, then my twin flame came in and told me that he was coming back. So he was blocked on some level because of the spell. Yeah, this is heavy. Very heavy. Well, I'm sure that there's no accident that you found us, Em. I know I used to shop at Knick Knack Nook all the time, but right now they don't have a physical location because of the COVID. Yeah. Did you guys have anything else specific you guys wanted to talk about tonight? And Em, let me know your schedule too, hun, so we can, because I know Sunday night I'll be on doing readings here. I know, and I had to clear something on that because I thought I had a lot of people that were coming in and telling me that they were learning a lot from me, but then they moved on. Okay. And I had to clear something on that. I don't remember what I cleared because if you clear it right, you're going to forget it anyway. But that's okay. That's what I want to do is empower people to make changes and stuff. And yeah, but that's good that people are moving on and learning different things. I think I'm pretty good at teaching basic spirituality. I mean, I had one guy who was coming and asking me questions that I didn't know anything about, but he told me, he says, you've taught me a lot of things that have changed my life and opened me up to new things. So message me in the morning, Em. We'll see what time we can schedule something. I don't think I have anything going on tomorrow. I know. But I'm okay with people coming in and out of my life now, you know? I use the bubble technique constantly, that and access consciousness clearing statements in order to clear things. That's okay. I knew what you were talking about, Tiffany. But that's why I encourage you guys to clear things all the time, you know? Yep. And that's why I like this group, you know, because people come in and everybody's a contribution. Everybody's got something to say, you know, something that they've learned, something to contribute. And that's good. Yeah. We learned things from our parents, from, like I said, I learned things from both my husbands, my dad, you know. I've learned some things from this guy. I think one of the things that this guy came in to teach me was setting boundaries. Well, I'm glad, Tiffany. I'm glad. I had like Georgia Peach, she messaged me one night and she says, "Thank you." She says, You teach us all this stuff." She goes, and you don't have to do that. Okay. Don't okay, let's not set what about 11 o'clock tomorrow? Because I'm not sleeping good at night and I'm not getting up till about 9:30. know what, hon? I'm just trying to give back. I have had so many teachings, so many blessings all my life. And I have been spiritually supported. First time I ever went to a sweat lodge, there was 4 of us women. It was a medicine woman. Her name was White Eagle. So we're all sitting in each one of the 4 directions. Her husband's running bringing the stones in and out. I'm sitting there in a sweat lodge. Okay, I'm sitting here in a sweat lodge and I have a blue flame about this tall. This is total darkness in a sweat lodge, right? I have this blue flame about this tall sitting next to me. And the medicine woman told me that was the mother part of God, reassuring me that everything was going to be okay. But if I look back now, it was a very, very light blue, which is the color of Metatron, who seems to be one of my teachers. So, yeah. So I started taking melatonin the other night to help me sleep a little better. So I've gone through, and they don't have many sun dances here in Colorado. This was probably, 30 years ago? We went to a sun dance here in Colorado. Maybe more than that. No, probably about 30 years ago. That's the first time I ever felt energy. First time I ever felt energy. So I try to give back, and it's coming back in other ways too. Like I said, I probably will take 1 week out of the month so we can do readings every night and do the spiritual talk. Everybody kept saying, oh yeah, we want to come back in and do the spiritual talk, but they're not here tonight. They kept telling me, well, you need to keep doing readings every night. And I said, yeah, then that's saying that none of us have a life, What time are you waking up in the middle of the night, Em? If I sleep good, I wake up around 3. Yeah. Yeah, they don't have the sun dances here anymore. Yeah, I got tired about the 5th night. Yeah. Yeah. And like I said, on Wednesday nights, I'm going to start a metaphysical book group. And the first book we're going to do is The Dark Side of the Light Chasers. Oh, but 3:30 last night. Okay, so the last time I went to a sweat lodge in Boulder was in Gold Hill. Yes, order the book. We're going to start the class probably in the next week. The last sweat lodge I went to was in Gold Hill, and that was Eagle Elk. Your daughter said Wyoming? I don't know if I could do a sweat lodge anymore because I have lung problems. Might be what I need, though. Maybe that's what we all need, Em. We all need to go up to a sweat lodge. And Tiffany, it's The Dark Side of the Light Chasers by Debbie Ford. I know they've been having some sweat lodges down in Fountain, Colorado, too. But you have to be careful who you go to, because I went to one where there was a group of women, That was not cool. That had us all messed up. I think somebody said if you have a Kindle, it's $5 on Kindle. I would check out hayhouse.com too. You can actually get it on audio there. Hayhouse.com is also having a sale on buy one set of cards, give another one free. Between Boulder and Lyons. I would like, it's been a long time since I've been to a sweat lodge. I would like to go to another one. See if I could handle it. But I definitely feel like I need it. Yes. It was funny, last time I was down in Taos, one of the little gals was taking us on a tour around there, and she was talking about how the shamans had run across, well, some of the medicine men had run across a bunch of kids that had done some cat sacrifices. And she says they were telling them, explaining to them that they weren't going to get power by sacrificing animals. And they just kind of laughed at them. So, you know, these kids look for things in unusual ways. Going to Hay House. Yes, they have a bunch of stuff. They have some books on sale for $1.99, and they also have buy one, get one free cards. Yeah. Yeah. We bought my son a drum from down there in Taos Pueblo. Okay, well, if nobody else has any questions tonight or anything they want to talk about it, we could log off for tonight. And we'll be back on Sunday night to do readings and spiritual talk again. Yeah. Small world, Em. I used to live by the Indian Center down on Morrison Road. Yeah. Like I said, I tried to get my son in to do the dances, but at 10, he was already 6 foot tall, and all these other kids were little, and he felt self-conscious and didn't learn the dances. So, Donna, have you tried cutting cords with him? Okay. That sounds good, Em. And we'll do it on Skype, okay, hon? I'll send you a link for it. Yes, yes. Donna, have you tried? Yeah. Babita, we're not doing readings tonight. We're doing spiritual talk tonight, okay? Readings are not till Sunday night. And I'll be on between 6:30 and 7 on Sunday night. Donna, have you tried cutting cords with him, hon? Yeah, some of the people requested doing spiritual talks. So we started out with boundaries tonight. Okay, so Donna, there is a video There's 4 videos you can watch. Okay. There's Who Does It Belong To? There's the bubble technique. There's one on cutting cords, and there's one for putting up a protective shield to block somebody's energy from coming. So I would suggest you go in and watch the video on cutting cords. Do you have children with this person? Do you have children with this person, Donna? It's a lot easier if you don't. Okay, so yeah, there's a video in there, and it tells you how to cut the cords. But I put it up for you guys to watch. Every video on there is under 4 minutes. I did put up there, I'm challenging you guys again to watch the movie What the Bleep Do We Know? I did put it into classes because it's quantum physics. It talks about how the universe works. This came out years before The Secret. And it explains energy and a lot about how the universe works. Okay. It says 3 hours, but I think some of that has documentary stuff on it. But you could watch it in stages also. But it's got some awesome stuff in there. But it's called What the Bleep Do You Know? And that's under classes also. Yeah. Yeah. Because if you have cords still between you, you can go in and you can dissolve the cords between you and anybody that is from the past, anything. He walked away. Yeah. Like I said, Tiffany, I did put it up under playlists and classes. He walked away. So it's time to cut and dissolve the cords. Funny thing is, a lot of times when you cut and dissolve the cords, somebody comes back, but you don't have to accept that. You do not have to accept that. I tried to put little videos up for you guys to use that can make some significant changes. See, the thing is, magical rituals tap into that energy. Okay? If you watch What the Bleep, it talks about how when energy is observed, it acts different than when it's not observed. So doing magical rituals is like a form of putting your intention on something, and it knows it's being observed. It's the universe responding to the energy that you're putting out there. Hey, I put them up there for you guys to use. You know, I can offer you the tools, but I can't, it's like leading a horse to water, but I can't make you drink. They're there for you. I know Daddy wants me to put one up on how to build a spiritual room, but anybody can do that. You go in and you just go in and create a room in your head, ask for this to be your spiritual room only, decorate it how you want. The way I was originally taught is to put a TV screen in there, like a computer. God. And then when you change the screen red, you can type in whatever you want and hit enter that sends it to, that sends it to the universe, your question. And then if you want an answer, you turn the screen blue. Red is a very hard color to visualize in manifestation, in meditation. Yeah, you're creating sacred space. Yes. So I have 2 rooms. I have one room that I invite people into for healing. And I have another room. It's not a room, it's a whole forest, waterfall, house, peace and quiet, my space, totally by myself. Nobody comes in there but me. But it's very simple. You just go in and create your own sacred space. Decorate it how you want. The original room I created, it's all white. The couches, the chairs, the computer screen, everything is all white. I just wanted that higher vibration energy. You know? And that I would invite people into and then revoke their privileges. But it was interesting because I could go in and tell people things about their bodies and illnesses that they had and things that were going on and stuff. That was interesting. Okay. If you want to find out, if you go in and cut the cords and you quit thinking about him, then it's coming from him. If you go in and cut the cords and you still think about him all the time, then it's you. Does that make sense, hon? It was kind of interesting because when I went in and cut cords and blocked this guy, my obsessive thinking left. It's like, oh, I thought it was me obsessing over him, but no, it was him obsessing over me. I said, wow, I thought it was me that wasn't letting go. He wasn't letting me go. Yeah. Yes. What's yes? What's a no? Wow. It's got a lot of energy. So Donna wants to know, is this ex that she cannot forget is thinking about her also? I get a yes. So about 60% of the time, if you go in and cut cords with somebody, if they have an attachment to you, they will try to get a hold of you. And did you let him back in, Tiffany? That's the thing. You do not have to let him back in. I cut the cords on this guy, and he just tries to find another way to come in spiritually. If I didn't know better, I think he was already crossed over. If you want this guy back, if you want a chance, if you want to see that if he has a spiritual attachment to you, you can cut those cords and dissolve them, but don't cut and dissolve them because you want him back. Cut them and dissolve them because you want to move forward with your life. Do you really want this person back? That's what I'm going to ask you. Yes. Well, you know what, hon? You're gonna do it in a totally different way now. That's the thing. You've grown spiritually. And you're going to take it slow and easy. Yep. You may decide that you don't like him anymore because you're not the same people you were before, you know? You're not the same person you were before. Especially this last what, 8 months now, hun? 6, 7, yeah, about 8, 9 months now. You've gone through major upheaval, major changes, major growth. And there's no going back now, honey. You know? So what do you think, Donna? Is this somebody that you want back? Or is this somebody you're just ready to move forward from? You don't want this person back? Okay. Yeah. That's what you want. You want somebody that's compatible with you, somebody that's emotionally available. So cut the cords, and if he tries to contact you, don't reattach. Don't engage with him. Okay? It's time to cut those cords and just let him go, hun. And like I said, it's under playlist, under classes, and it'll say cutting cords. And most of the videos are under 4 minutes. It's something very simple, very quick. Yeah, I want a new person too. I want somebody that's emotionally available and that's very compatible. Undecided. So Jennifer, that did the readings the other night for us, I don't know if you guys, any of you were on there the other night, but she said that she looks for something specific in an astrological chart. She told me that I would probably have somebody new coming in the end of September, 1st of October. And it was kind of funny because Bulldog told me the same thing, that it would be probably in October. And I had a reading done from another gal. She told me around my birthday, if I hadn't already met somebody around New Year's. So, gives me a little bit of hope. So start putting out to the universe that if you cut the cords with this guy, you're allowing new energy to come in also. And that's what we want, new energy, new growth, new changes. Yes, 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 yes. And with this guy, like I said, he kept coming back on spiritual level. I think he's too lazy to make the effort on a physical level. I do not think this guy will be back. But he's mad because I've cut him off. Yeah. He's mad. See, Bulldog's been listening all this time, huh? He's mad because I cut him off. Yeah. He's the problem. So if you cut the cords, it'll allow, because guys are not going to come in if they're sensing the energy from another guy. Bulldog just got up. Yeah. Yeah, the little scammer guy came back again. So I guess all my moderators thought that it was too boring. Your stomach's hurting? Are you taking your probiotics too, hun? With your food. What did you eat today? Keep a diary of your food, hun. Keep a diary of your food so you can get an idea what's causing the problem. But as long as they're sensing another guy in your energetic field or attached to you, Donna, you're not going to find somebody new. Oh, you had cream? Dairy again. I told you, silly goose. And I told my son-in-law that's going through the cancer treatment 2 nights ago, stay away from dairy. I said it creates mucus and it creates problems. So now he's all sick and can't keep anything down again. Don't say what, Donna? We're talking about dairy being bad for you. Yes, if they sense anybody else in your energetic field. Don't we all want a hot new guy? Girl, if I meet somebody, I'm going to fall over. I just don't get anywhere, go anywhere, do anything to meet anybody anymore. Especially with everything, you know. Things are opening up, but people are being crazy. Yeah. So have you gone in to check the cord, see if you have any cords still attached to him, Bulldog? If you want somebody new, somebody better to come in, start clearing out all the men from your past. You still love that one, yeah. A Ken doll, huh? Well, I know my cards kept telling me I was going to meet somebody totally different. Yeah, this guy was totally different. Totally different. But if you want to move on, then you need to clear his energy. That's the thing. Ooh. So we were just talking about if you cut the cords, if they sense that you cut the cords, a lot of times they'll contact you. So you want to tap into the energy, not the person. So invite that energy into your life. There's a difference. Not the person, but you want to invite that energy into your life. That's another way of setting a boundary. This is what I want to experience. You can also tell the universe you want to set boundaries. Okay? So if you put in here the things you want to experience, if you put in here things that you might want to experience, and then you put out here all the things that you don't want to experience. That's like setting a boundary for the universe also. Does that make sense? But then we have to know what we want too.
Text message.
Weather, weather, weather. Okay. Sorry, guys. We had somebody that we thought was going to commit suicide earlier. Hang in there, girl. We're, like I said, I saw they seem to be okay. It was kind of interesting because she wasn't answering anybody's calls. She put 2 videos up. You may know this person, Tiffany. She used to be on Raise Your Vibe. She was a reader. She put up 2 videos and we were worried she was going to commit suicide. But then she posted something, I think yesterday, about wanting to know where to dig for crystals. And I posted, there's some places here in Colorado, and somebody else posted Colorado too. She goes, oh yeah. So she answered me. She says, yeah, I'm definitely coming to Colorado. And I said, okay, that's good. That's good. She's making some future plans. I said, oh my God, is this like full moon night or what? The energy was just crazy. I had just got out of the shower when all that popped up, and I didn't get a chance to fix my hair, put my makeup on or anything before this live. And it's like, that's crazy. Yeah. But she seems to be okay. She said she was just tired of people judging her. Yeah. Her name starts with a K. Yep. National weather. Thunderstorm warning. That's crazy. Yes, I'm glad she's good too. I just couldn't handle that tonight. Oh. I got your message, Bulldog. Oh yeah, so Venus is direct, but that's still in the shadow period. So that's going to be interesting. I think it's interesting that I ran across the bluebird. That was funny because it was walking back and forth about 3 feet in front of me by the stop sign. Then I found the raven feather, which also talks about transformation and change. Yeah. Hey, Elle, how you doing tonight? You want some ice cream, huh? So, Elle, do you have any questions tonight? We were talking about boundaries. We started out with physical boundaries, went to spiritual boundaries. If you have any questions or anything you want to talk about tonight, we can talk about that. Yeah. Here's a good one. If you do not make time for your wellness, Bulldog, you will be forced to make time for your illness. Read that again. How do you attract back your soulmate? You could ask the universe to reconnect you. Yeah. Yeah, you are making time. Yeah. Your best friend doesn't understand what it means. Yeah. So just tell her you're taking some time to have some compassion for yourself. I see you, Tiffany. Now I see you. So we kind of didn't talk about this. This is some of the blocks and beliefs of boundaries. Is having boundaries is selfish? No, this is self-respect, self-esteem, and being healthy. Having personal boundaries will affect your relationships. No, toxic relationships, is it worth it? You want a relationship that's healthy and thrives. People won't like me if I set boundaries. Well, it can happen, but people also admire people that don't take BS. You will attract people who will respect you and be authentic. Setting boundaries makes you miserable. Might be uncomfortable, but at first it will empower you to take control of your life again. It will make you happier. Setting boundaries makes you rigid? No, it depends on the circumstances. They're not set in stone. So it says you learn to say no. You learn to be empowered. You feel more control in your life. You attract healthier, supportive partners and friends. You'll have more energy mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually. You will be able to stand up and be heard. You will feel more appreciated and valued, more in touch with your own needs, more time for you, more happiness and balance, increased self-esteem and self-worth, more courage and freedom to be you. Well, then you know what else? She's the one that's having problems with boundaries then. Usually I would see them first before YouTube would take them down, hun. Overthinking, overanalyzing, yep. Separates the body from the mind. Yes. That's the negative self-talk, beliefs and points of view that keep us from having what we want, from moving forward. And then, yeah. Wow. And I didn't see anything that was blocked because I thought it would have told me. Because it would have showed me that it was being blocked. Wow. Maybe we're being monitored. Mental boundaries, yes. Look at this one. Mind, I'm worried. Heart, just relax. Mind, but I'm totally lost now. Heart, just follow me. Mind, but you've never been there before. Heart, trust me, you'll love it. Soul, if you two would just shut up, I'd show you the map. You got the book, but had to purchase it again? What happened? Did you buy it on Kindle? Or did you buy the physical book, hon? Was that the Dark Side of the Light Chasers, hon? Mid-July. So 2 more weeks. I thought they told you a week and a half. Wow. Did you move down here for a job, hon? Or somebody in the family in the military? Wow. You're a veteran? Yeah. So have you ever lived in the Springs before? Were you ever stationed out there? I was just wondering why you ended up in Colorado Springs. I'm being nosy. Tiffany, I don't know what song that would be from, hon. And yes, thank you for your service. My dad was a veteran. Well, Colorado's fun, hon. There's lots of things to do out here. We need to get together for lunch sometime. From a band called Tool. Yeah. Your uncle pulled you out? Were you not of age or what, hon? My son-in-law is he's got to take his physical and then he'll go do his training. But they're in the process right now. He's finishing the classes that he needs to finish right now. They're moving back down here to live in his mom's house. Yeah. And so he's going to be serving in the military. And they've got a 7-month-old baby. And they haven't even been married a year yet. But he's worried about having a career in order to support his wife and his love. That's what he says. He calls my daughter his wifey and his love. That baby has got him wrapped around her finger, that's for sure. So she was in the living room, and I walked out of the living room and she started crying, and he was upstairs. He came running down. What's wrong? What's wrong? I said, I walked out of the room. Did Grandma leave you? Yeah, the Army has changed a lot. How long's it been since you got out, hon? My former son-in-law was, he was from Lebanon, and he got his papers through the military. 13 years. Wow. I think you'll like Colorado Springs, hon, though. I think you'll like the energy a lot. Have you been up to Manitou Springs yet? If there's some awesome places up there to find crystals too. Yes, Bulldog, go to bed and take care of yourself. Yes, that's a powerful statement, Tiffany. But the thing is, nothing's going to heal until people let go of the past. Wow. Yeah, you said you were looking for a Subaru. I have a Subaru Outback that I need to... I've already rebuilt a lot on it, and now he's telling me I need to fix the rear end. It's like, I've only got 175,000 miles on this car. So... So I have a friend that works in North Denver that's a car salesman. He's usually pretty good about helping people get some deals on cars. If you want to check that out too. And they're going to make you wait 2 more weeks for your stuff? Wow. What are you guys sleeping on? Do you have beds at least? And how old's your daughter, hon? Wow. Yeah, cars are... You buy new mattresses? Good. Good. Preteen. She's probably at that age then where she's starting to give mom a bad time because she's starting to test the boundaries and explore who she is versus who mom is. Yeah. Once they hit 10, hold on to your hat. I reminded my daughter earlier, yeah, exactly what she's doing. That's funny. And we're talking about boundaries tonight. You got to set them boundaries with them kids. That's crazy. My out of the older grandkids, my youngest one just turned 18. And with the younger grandkids, one's 4. So 7 months and 5 months. And then I have great grandkids that are older than the younger grandkids. Oh, so mom has always been the best friend. Yeah, that's going to be hard, girl. The only thing you can tell her is, regardless of how you feel, I am still your parent and I am still going to do what I think is best for you, I did that with my oldest daughter. But that girl was determined. In fact, I talked to her about that earlier because I brought up something that she was doing and she mentioned something about boundaries. I said, it's interesting that you're bringing up boundaries because I'm going to do a class on boundaries tonight. But I told her when she was 14, I said, are you trying to do everything bad you can possibly do in one lifetime before you hit 15? And then at 15, she got pregnant. It changed everything. She settled down and became a good mom. So she's had to learn a lot. And she grew up with her kids. And she was friends with them, but then they got the boys involved in sports in order to keep them busy and out of trouble. And now my grandson has got an ACL tear. He's always been this sports whiz. He's trying to redefine who he is now. Doesn't know who he is now because he's always been a sports geek. Yeah. I'm sorry to hear that, Tiffany. So now she's kind of, I don't know, they're still kind of like, yeah, she's still like the best friend type thing. And he's worried about what she's thinking about his new girlfriend. So, yeah, they do that. They turn into our angels. Yeah, it's hard being it's hard being a parent. I was a single parent with both kids. The older two really put me through hell. Yeah. Of course, I didn't know anything about boundaries with the older kids at all and was learning them with the second bunch of kids. Well, ladies, I suppose we ought to wrap it up for tonight. I will be back on Sunday night doing readings and we will do tarot talk again. It's kind of funny. Everybody requested Friday night was good for spiritual talk, and then they all disappeared. Oh, That's okay, Elle. You know, I know you guys have lives too. Yeah. And we will have, and I'll have to decide what week during July that we'll go in and do readings again, like that every night. So we'll see what happens. So everybody take care of yourself tonight. Elle, if you want anybody to talk to, you can always message me. We could always meet up for lunch. We could meet up in even Castle Rock even. Have you been to Castle Rock yet? Okay. Yes. Yep. Got to take care of Tiffany. Got to get the car first. Yeah. Well, start visualizing what you want and then ask the universe, what do I need to do to get this car? What else is possible here for getting a car? Allow the universe to open up new opportunities, hon. Okay. Okay, everybody. We will close it up for tonight. I got to get up in the morning and do M's reading. So, yeah. If you guys have any questions, you can always message me or give me ideas for what you want to talk about next Friday night. And once everybody gets their books for the Dark Side of the Light Chaser, we'll start doing that on Wednesday nights, okay? So everybody have a good one, and namaste. See you all Sunday. Have an awesome weekend, everybody.